Let's go and check out our roster as we go to the Black Knights here for Army West Point.
Absolutely. This is the Army West Point Black Knights. They are 2-3 on the season. We'll get into that one in just a second. Taking a look at Darth NECC, Ida Turtle, and NJW 125.
This is a kind of a mixed up team in terms of experience. You do have the junior, that NJW. Maybe you're going to be able to bring some of that extra experience as well. And I think that it's also either a sophomore or a freshman kind of coming in. Actually, we don't know what Darth NECC is. They just happen to kind of live in the void. So want to see in this emergence level what this esports program can be able to bring. But on the other side, you got the SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears, which just is so intimidating. They clawed out their own name. I mean, who could take on that? I don't know.
Yeah, they're literally willing to take out their own name in an effort to get to you on the virtual Rocket League pitch, of course. This is SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears 1-4 right now. Getting into that in just a second. Taking a look at that guy, Macro, almost did it, Parallax, and Green Mayhem 427. HailMonkeyMan.
Yep, this is going to be a team that is looking for some success. 1-4 right now. The only win they have is a forfeiture, and the rest of them, well, they've been able to grab a couple of games. Not exactly in a great position considering where we are in the season. I think we have maybe a week or so left in it to be able to complete the rest of the games. Same for the Black Knights, though. Army West Point trying to get into that top 4, as now they've only had one forfeiture win. They did have a big win over Defiance, and so we're going to see if even more of that can be able to kind of find some momentum. But otherwise, I mean, Tugboat, these two teams are kind of in that lower position on the old leaderboard. Need to be able to find success today.
That's entirely fair. Entirely fair. The Emergence Northeastern B Division continuing in just a little bit. HailMonkeyMan prefaced this one perfectly. The SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears need to take this W, only have earned one, another one with a forfeit. Against Widener University Blue right there. Only one map, it seems. Yes, that was against West Virginia University Potomac State College in week number 1. So we'll have a last official week here, another match next week, and then whatever reschedules that we do have to play, the story remains the same, even though chapter to chapter here. HailMonkeyMan, the Army West Point Black Knights have to win today to keep some postseason playoff dreams alive.
And there's a lot looking in as well. You may not exactly have it here at this tier. You had 5 separate divisions of play, but looking at how nationals are going to be going into some postseason. And of course, you're going to see a lot of that going to May Madness. But game number 1, high and on log. Green Mayhem already getting their number called, a bouncer that will go its way through. And that is a non-stop attack with the Bears up first.
A fantastic little setup right here. Just a play off the backboard, and Parallax doesn't go for it. Knows that Darth NECC is just hanging out there lurking, ready to get a block. Gets it to the teammate. A different story. Cave Bears striking first 1-0.
That's what's going to be really kind of the defining moment, I think, right now. You get to have a really good program here out of Black Knights, and they know how to throw a counter punch as a counter strike comes through, and we're already tied just really quick off the kickoff.
Fantastic stuff right here. An immediate answer from Ida Turtle. No shell necessary for this one. That is what this is 9 seconds within real time. I think that's only about 3 or 4 seconds within game time here. HailMonkeyMan, we are right back to a neutral situation.
So, you know, this is also one of those moments. You have game 1s. They cannot be, I think, the true definition when it comes to a BO5. You're looking for some consistency. You're also looking for a lot of these teams to kind of settle. This has been one-off. So we saw a great passing play by Potsdam as the Cave Bears went up, were able to bring a bouncer. Now you're looking for Darth NECC to simply have an individual strike. But the Black Knights really just kind of sending one after the other. Long cycling plays, but the Bears have not been able to progress upfield from it, Tugboat.
Yeah, so the Black Knights just unloosing a barrage of shots right here, and this is not going to... Oh, nice cutaway right there. So the pre-jump right into that one, and at least gives the team a little bit of time to, like, rotate, get back. There's a demo as well. Parallax will be back with us in just a couple of seconds as Black Knights now trying to round to the corner and get it to a teammate. Easy cutaway there from that guy, Macro.
What kind of really defines as well this emergent division right outside of Navigators, where you have some extra experience, is also being able to make extra tertiary efforts. Darth NECC, as this one rings off the interior of both sides of the post, simply waiting for the gong to strike, maybe even just be able to go get a snack. Darth NECC cleaning it up, and that's 2 in a row here for Army West Point.
Yeah, so an early one earned from the Cave Bears. The Army West Point Black Knights take advantage of a kind of, well, not a kickoff mistake, not kind of a kickoff mistake. It was a kickoff mistake. That was going to lead to the first right there in a tying factor. First earned goal really here for the Black Knights. 2-1 series, or 2-1 situation, excuse me. 3.5 minutes left. Nice cutaway. There's the pass. Ida Turtle puts it right up top, and then the double tap down bottom. Are you kidding me? 3 shots, 2 goals here for Ida Turtle.
That is non-stop, just ground and pound here by Army as they're able to just find it from the ground, off of the crossbar, and they knew to simply follow up, and that is a separating factor for a team that can find success, knowing how to be able to clean up your own individual effort. That nearly finding some issue. Darth Nessie feeds it to a bear, but it's cleaned up by NJW.
Nicely done, NJW, showing up in the point feed over here on your right side, guys. This has mostly been a Darth Nessie and Ida Turtle show so far. NJW showing up on the defensive side of this ball. Speaking of, down bottom, tries to pick this one up. It was a wonky pass. Possession not retained there. Ida Turtle getting a play onto this one as now the Cave Bears are doubling up in the corner.
Darth Nessie has really taken up stock, I think, of being kind of the point man. Really been making sure that this team kind of continues. What a ripper by Ida Turtle, by the way, as Green Mayhem has been able to find another couple of saves. NJW, again, they long bomb it, and then they wait to see if Cave Bears are going to be losing possession, even if it's at a deficit of boost. They have been able to live on just maybe 20s and 30s running up field. Got to be wary of that, though, because that could leave an open back line, but there's a long rotation here by the Knights as now they settle into defense.
I mean, both of these teams playing fantastic rotational performances up into this point in the series. Best of 5 here. And this is just kind of a back and forth. But, I mean, honestly, the Cave Bears' greatest enemy right now is not necessarily the Black Knights. It is simply time as we get sub 2 minutes with a 2-goal lead here. Insurance goal purchase as the double tap was attempted right there. Got to tip the hat to the attempt, but execution just not there.
The only thing that I'd want to see maybe a little bit more from the Knights is continuing to just lay in the kind of the melee against the Bears. And one of their greatest strengths, I guess, is that they've been able to just kind of keep this rotation. They're very disciplined about who's the first, second, and third, filling that gap. But I feel like they can find even more purchase whenever they've really been able to cage these Bears because they're just winning these challenges. Ida Turtle finds one, and that's going to be sent off to the corner. But again, they're keeping the Bears on their own back half, but that demo may prove otherwise.
Precision, focus, and endurance here. Can't really be surprised that coming out from the West Point squad. That was a shot right across the middle. That's a decent pass, but it's way out to the left side. Cave Bears now having their own shot at offense. This is a bad offensive attempt. It's now yielding in a Potsdam offensive possession. Gets over Ida Turtle, but can't get it past the second player. Now a centering shot, and nobody is even on this side of the pitch to pick that up for the Cave Bears. Okay, so offensive mistakes on both sides of these teams.
Yeah, Potsdam, they really didn't keep that third man kind of pressuring. They recognized they were out of boost. They were working very lateral across that midfield line. I thought maybe for all of a moment we would see them looking to challenge. What a passing play, and that's really been established a lot more often by Army West Point. But with less than 30 seconds to go, that one's going to drop nearby. Got to see who can be able to find it, and Darth Nessie does. Cave Bears looking for one late-term double demo to get them out of the way, trying to clean it up. That one just not secured.
And right as both players spawn on either side, the Cave Bears trying to find that little bit of wiggle room and a 10-second drill down by 1. Unfortunately, not going to happen. This game number 1 of this best of 5 series is over, and it is going the way the Army West Point Black Knights.
Point that was gained by Potsdam wasn't going to be the definer for the entirety of that game, nor of this series. But gotta also make sure you keep these mistakes from getting too crazy. That one ends up going off target. But otherwise, I want to see what Potsdam can bring to the table. We go to game number 2.
I want to see a Cave Bears strike first, and then the Black Knights have to play from behind here. Really kind of test that, pressure that. As we know, pressure makes diamonds. Well, pressure almost also crushes completely at times. Solid first shot here, and that's going to be followed up by the demo here. Ida Turtle, consistent offensive pressure and a demo. I think this is going to yield results.
It very much will, as long as they're able to get one. They find a great kind of pinch to put out to midfield, and then it's actually Green Mayhem who's been caused to go and bump into it. A great individual effort there by Darth Nessie, and how many times did we get that keyed up between themselves and Ida Turtle? Call their name, and they get to work.
Absolutely. Darth NECC getting a perfect nose under this, but defense just not freaking out, basically. That was the opposite of anxiety. That was just another day at the office kind of thing. Speaking of that office manager. Another shot here. Ida Turtle way too high on that one. Going to be kicking themselves and wanting this one back, as it looks like the Cave Bears, okay, 50 across the middle. That's going to be won by the Cave Bears the first, and now possession. That guy Macro there, but a fantastic rotation yields a defensive possibility for the SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears.
Macro kind of caught out in that no man's land mid situation. Parallax ends up really just getting it around his own teammate, which luckily didn't give a free shot over to the Black Knights, and still they have the Bears under control. Haven't seen them be able to work into an offensive rotation upfield for a while. Macro kind of comes up loose, doesn't find a connection, but their teammate does. What a doink. Macro simply needs to exist here. Wait out on it.
Oh my
goodness.
no.
The perfect moment. They just couldn't put it away.
Wow. Well, so we were talking about the opposite of anxiety earlier. Well, that might be a little bit of nerves there, folks. About as open as it gets, and Macro just swings for the fences on this one. It's going to be a foul ball to the left side of this field. 3 minutes in, color me surprised. It wasn't a particularly high-scoring affair in game number 1, but there were definitely early scores there at HailMonkeyMan, and I'm kind of surprised there isn't something on about 15 seconds now. It's at a halftime.
Well, considering the barrage that we got out of Army West Point, I feel like they've left a few points on the field, especially as this continues to ring high to the backboard. They're really trying to focus on getting the Bears to jump, to be able to get them to burn some boost and make it easier for them to rotate. They have these longer rotations. That one's going to be a great challenge, as at least it works upfield. Parallax was the one that put it there, and Parallax has been a lot more active. They're going to rotate away. Oh, unfortunate as they leave that one behind, but it's going to be a slow 50-50, seeing what they can come back with. That is a great back pass.
There you go. It was a fake. The initial thing, that was a fake, right? It wasn't an honest shot.
Yeah, it was something. You know, it was an idea. Every fake is maybe a possible pass, and every possible lack of connection is a miss save. Ida Turtle is going to find the first one here.
2 in the first, now 1 in the second, and the solo goal right here. I'd hate to sound too negative, but that's a couple of negative plays there for the SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears that have come from one player.
Yeah,
offense and defense.
Yeah, and you know, on both sides, that's one of those moments that you want the coach to be like, hey, we need to settle. It's cool. Get someone, maybe not exactly an IGL, because that's not the key, same kind of meta concept that exists in Rocket League, but you got to have someone taking that stewardship, that captainship, to get teams and players to just be chilled out. So Potsdam looking to be able to do the same thing, but it's a challenge to do when Darth NECC is breathing down your collar.
I think there's a little bit of communication errors, especially from Parallax not having a lot more momentum coming into this ball. You could have basically anticipated a opponent right behind his teammate after they try and make a play, right? The Black Knights are doing a fantastic job of rotating so far, so even if you don't check your mirrors, right, you have to assume that player is there, and you really have to beat feet to get to that ball.
You really do. Oh, man, this one could have been another on target, and they're just demoing straight through. It is a bombing run by Army West Point. Must have called the Air Force to help them out on that aerial superiority. Potsdam trying to at least get a threat. That's actually one of their maybe 2 shots, as Army West Point has really not allowed more. That one to the sidewall, but what a clear. That one alleviating all pressure as Darth NECC kicks it out.
Nicely done. Back to a decently neutral situation if you ignore the scoreboard for right now. Both teams kind of playing up to each other. I got to say, this is a dangerous back pass right across the middle, and there's nobody on the other side to pick it up there. So maybe the result of another lack of communication here for the Cave Bears, because Parallax was just kind of sitting there waiting for it. Well, that's going to be an open net. Macro's not going to miss those twice.
And this one, actually an unfortunate situation for NJW, and then their teammate had no idea that that one would end up as far back as it did. Went for the old kick, and they just had a swinging leg like it's, what, U5, I guess? So now we go into less than a minute to go, and Potsdam Cave Bears, they at least find a goal. It's been a while since they got one.
It's fair. It's fair. And barring another kickoff mistake, if there is a goal, this is a much more comfortable situation. Obviously, no insurance goal purchase there. Ooh. The Black Knights. Ball kept aloft all the way in.
Wow. Yeah, it was definitely aloft. Yeah, all the way from downtown. Turtle was like, math? Yeah, math.
Okay. Okay, doesn't even make an attempt. I don't know.
I think they backflipped. It sticks, you know?
Yep, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense, actually. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Kickoff here. This would be fantastic for Potsdam to flip that situation around, especially after a huge miss aerially right here. This is a great setup. Only IJW is back and screaming down from the top. Nicely done. Green Mayhem now showing up on the offensive side of this ball.
Green Mayhem just waiting for their time, their moment, putting a soft jump behind, and NJW was caught on the roof of it. They thought that maybe they had to go for a squishy save since that could be an inversion goal, but instead it's just taking a bit of speed off the ball. And now you have a free look. If you are Green Mayhem, you have a free boost, and now you'd be able to go and challenge after. This is going to go lateral. Where's the second man? Rip one on target. Get some threat. You have 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds here, now sub 10. It's a fantastic job earlier to have repurchased this situation. As a nice block here for Green Mayhem. Now the idea is just keeping this ball aloft and passing it to your teammates so they can do the same. Kept it aloft, nicely done. Big boost picked up here for Darth NECC, a ground ball situation. Something that the Black Knights would be happy with, even if they don't force it themselves. An honest shot on goal, and this is going to be a 3-2 game going the way of the Army Black Knights here. Game number 2 is best of 5.
Yeah, it does feel like that. So, do you predict a 3-0 sweep? I feel like that's going to be the easiest nature here for West Point, and it's going to be even easier if they give them a free look. Parallax is one of those players that I actually have big expectations for. I know that's rough to put some of that onto a singular player's shoulders, but like you said, you don't give a lot of love to the non-highlight player, but that's because they're the glue to get all the other pieces working together.
Yeah, like these don't work. Like offensive players don't get points unless they get assists, and you don't want to put your offensive player in a situation where they consistently have to score because defense ain't showing up. Also, I mean, this is higher level Rocket League. How often does just a single shot go in? I feel vindicated just having watched this, right? A solid shot, aerial, and more, but multiple players back, and it's an easy block. No real pressure against the Knights on that one. Now, a bouncing play from the right side, trying to pick this one up is Macro. Coming off of the wall, Turtle's going to chow, and that puts it right back to the other corner, picking it up and swinging downfield is NJW.
This is simply foundational Rocket League being done at a fast pace by the Knights. They have been so just efficient and so methodical. But look at this 1-2. Parallax recognizes that they are actually on the upfield swing of that available pass. And now, Ida Turtle sneaks one by. Parallax all the way in the right place, and now trying to be able to make one big read. That one was big brain plays by the Knights.
Fantastic stuff to just really slow down this play as it was coming in. That looked really dangerous. That looked some aerial superiority coming in there from the Black Knights, and Potsdam just shuts it down. But that offense is not over with, as we see, and even these crisp rotations from the Cave Bears can't survive through what? Was this 4 honest shots in the past 30 seconds or so that were made?
It was, and Turtle also, if in case you can't get through a brick wall, because it has been Green Mayhem who's been able to really kind of stand up to it, as well as Parallax, simply drive through them. Don't even need demos. Get those bumps. So they bring out some C4, lay the landmines, and absolutely just crush straight through the Bears. And now the Bears are at a deficit, and it feels like a very fast-ticking clock considering that they have that 2-0 against them. Parallax showcasing, nice. They do have mechanics to bring to the field, and they just have to be able to give that kind of more north and south.
They got the skills to pay the bills. Now it's just time to look at the receipt, because really that was everything in a bag of chips. Parallax really showing off right there. Even so, it kind of feels like almost the flashy Indiana Jones scene where he's, the guy's whipping his sword around, and then he pulls out the gun and just shoots him dead, right? Because it's more methodical. It can be flashy as heck. It can be really sexy like that, Ida Turtle. But my point is that it can be as flashy as it wants to be. If you have a defense that's just going to be playing lockdown and they have positioning and boost, they're just going to block it away right there. This is off the back of a really, really fast transition, and once again, the Black Knights purchase themselves that insurance goal.
Yeah, you can either do what Daniel was doing in some Game 3 OT at the pro level, or you simply hit a 90-degree angle bonk from the corner, and you have a proper rotation, which is exactly what these Knights are currently doing. Army West Point has been able to take away opportunities from Cave Bears, and this is going to be one of those challenges. They need to set something up. That's a nice loft, but it's well read by Darth NECC, and you see how they at least had one. That's going to go sidewall, extra read. It doesn't make it much more interior. Ida Turtle waiting very patiently. This is one of those better rotations. NJW actually gave that away, but it was a nice pass. They had a teammate waiting.
Yeah, a dangerous pass, but it was high risk, high reward. It was just off the back of no third man there on the offense to, accept the next one. Perhaps a little bit of comm issues coming in here for Army West Point Black East, or Army West Point Black Knights. Blech, it's a mouthful. Nicely done from Parallax. Excuse me, I'm over here chewing over my words while Parallax is cooking.
Ooh, we'll just call him Moppy Black. Why not? Because Parallax is not going to call them back. He's going to put a shot on target, dead center, a poof comes through. And the Cave Bears, that's what they've been needing. Even if it's just simply to pick the pocket, force a little bit of that pressure, because pressure and turning these champs into diamonds is either going to be a compliment or it's going to be a very heinous, just hate crime. But as we get some control, gotta see if AWPE Black can be able to take another 1-2 passing play. They have 100 seconds to go to just keep the Cave Bears from advancing upfield.
AWPE Black just completely covering the middle part of this field. A little tipper right over, and a nice job there from Parallax. This was a goal every single day and twice on Sundays.
They gotta play that mind game, but what a dangerous position to do so here in your own box. You're getting a soft double commit as one at least stepped up into the position in general, and then Ida Turtle and Parallax are dueling in the sky with 70 seconds to go. It is a winnable function, but it is simply AWPE Black that has been able to find way more challenges. This is how they're just going to keep the Cave Bears from going upfield and finding any kind of worth. Great pickup again by Parallax.
The Parallax is absolutely showing out this game. The pressure is on. Game 3 situations. What do you do? I'd say employ Parallax. How about that one? 45 seconds or so on the rotation is Parallax once again. I've been following this player for quite a while as he's hitting Chris rotations, now setting up something offensive for himself. Nice tap. Oh, wait. What a cut. What a cut right there. Reading this one out perfectly and now setting up something the other way for AWPE Black.
See if they can be able to run it down. They have them on the run. It's a rotation. Quick 1-2. Oh, what a save by Darth Nessie. That one should have been it. 20 seconds. They may be able to just put it away. Darth Nessie the other direction. They have a man waiting, and they shut them down. That may just do it here, Tugboat.
Yeah, NJW with the least flashy goal so far. Doesn't gotta be. Doesn't gotta be. Easy one right to the middle. That's the insurance goal purchased 18 seconds ago. It is possible. It is also very, very unlikely.
Probability just swung the other way on the old ESPN counter, and now with 15 seconds remaining, Parallax has been able to showcase to us that there are chances for the Cave Bears to shine, but simply put, it was AWPE Black. There's the Army West Point's Black Knights that have been able to just simply outplay them. Good foundational Rocket League, solid rotations, and just keeping the Cave Bears locked up in hibernation. Tell them it's springtime. They better come out next time. But that's going to be Army walking away with this one in a 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, 3-2, 4-1, doesn't matter. Result being the same. Ground ball out is going to be a 3-1 ender for this and a 3-0 sweep.